All righty, welcome back to the Angry Hacks podcast. This is Nunzi here with my fellow hack, Michael Hall. What's up, Mike?
What's up, Nuns?
All right, man. We got a great podcast tonight. It's a special podcast. We are doing a New York Rangers season preview. So if you're a big hockey fan, please tune into YouTube right now and listen to our Rangers season preview because we are two big Rangers fans and ready for this season to begin, man. You ready for this?
Let's drop the puck already.
I'll tell you one thing, though, that, we got some cool intro music, but I swear to God, I wish we had that ESPN, that old hardcore. ESPN, if you're listening to this, if you have the rights to that, I would love it. Give it to the Angry Hacks.
Or the Ranger goal song.
Ooh. See, that's hard to pry away, I think.
And you know what I saw? I saw a thing where the Ranger goal song was voted like the most annoying in the league.
It's the best. Yeah, the people who are not Rangers fans think that.
I mean, honestly, can it get worse than the Islanders goal song? with the yeses and the whatever the hell else they do,
It's terrible.
If there's an Islander fan listening, contact me and please defend that goal song because it's the worst freaking thing I've ever heard.
The only thing the Islanders have going is they have Howie Rose, and I like Howie Rose.
Yeah,
I like Howie Rose. He's pretty solid. But you know what? Enough of that because we're not talking about the Islanders tonight, boys. We are talking New York Rangers hockey. Okay, a team that has made the playoffs the past 12 years, maybe. It's probably somewhere around that. I'm just kind of spitballing right now.
Close.
A lot of comings and goings this offseason. A lot of comings and goings. So let's talk a little bit about the new additions to this team. And obviously that number one guy we got on that defensive end, and that's Kevin Shattenkirk. What do you think about that pickup, Mike?
No, you saw it coming. I mean, obviously he was the prized free agent. Definitely the best defenseman on the market, probably the best player, and grew up a Ranger fan. It was no secret he wanted to come here. It was no secret we wanted him, and we got him. What I'm a little surprised and pleased with is the relative discount I feel like we got him with. It wasn't that monstrosity of the contract.
It was amazing.
It's a good deal. I love the length. It's only 4 years. It's not the stupid albatross 7 or 8 year deal. So I'm excited about it.
It was a big surprise. I mean, he's a New York guy, so he was pretty pumped. I liked his attitude. I saw a press conference with him when they got him, and he was pretty excited and just motivated to be a New York Ranger. And that's what you like to see, dude. You like to see guys come here and want to be here, man. You want guys who want to be here and be a part of something that could be special, man. We're right there. We're so close. I'll get to what we need, but we're so close to get to that ultimate goal, which is a Stanley Cup championship. And so Shattenkirk was the big one, obviously. He signed for 4 years, 26 and change mil, okay, with a $5 million signing bonus. They did a great job with that. But they also, they tried to address the center position with Desharnais. What do you think about that pickup?
Well, I mean, I know we haven't gotten to the departures yet, but obviously we know Stepan's gone, and up the middle wasn't really our strong suit, I feel like, in years. And you take away, I guess, our number one center, 1A, whatever you want to call him. So obviously it left a big hole, and Desharnais isn't going to really whet anyone's appetite too bad. He's not going to light the world on fire, but he's always been a good depth center. He's had a consistent career, and he's always around 45 or 50 points. Once he got traded to Edmonton last year, he finished the season really strong. So, where does he fit in? I don't know. You want him to be the third or fourth line center. The way the roster looks right now, he may be our number 2 center, depending on the way things work. But I like the signing. I like bringing him in.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, the guy, I had to look him up a little bit because I didn't know too much about him. I've heard about him. I knew where he came from. It was a 1 year deal they gave him. it was something that they obviously were looking to shore up that middle position. Obviously, we needed it. And yeah, what is he? Is he a third line center? He's a fourth. We don't know. He was
always a pain in the ass with Montreal. He was always that pesky little guy. He always played us tough. So hopefully he's got some of that left in his hand.
I mean, his season last year was cut short for a little while because of that knee injury. Yeah. So he only had 6 goals and 8 assists last year in 49 games. But I look at something before that. His prior 5 seasons, he averaged per 82 games 15 goals and 31 assists.
Right.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, puts him right at 46 points a year. It's consistent.
Exactly. It's very consistent, and if that's your third line center, I'm okay with that.
You take that. You take 46 points from the bottom 6.
You do. And that was our other addition, but 2 other additions we got. One may not start the season with us, and that's D'Angelo. That was the prospect, I guess. I mean, he was up last year, but we got from Arizona for the Stepan and Ranta. I mean, this one, it's very interesting in 2 ways. In one way, the guy's got enormous talent, and most of his talent is offensive. He's a defenseman, but he is a force offensively. A force. The guy can skate. He's got a top-notch shot. Okay. He's an aggressive player. He does have some problems defensively, though. Can he defend a top line guy? Can he defend a Malkin? Can he defend those power forwards like that?
No, he probably can't. But I think if you were to bring him up, I don't know whether to start the year or whenever during the season, I don't think he has to be. That's what a head coach is for. You put him in positions where he can succeed, and he's not going to go out against the opposition's top line. Roman Josi can't really defend, and neither can Keith Yandel and a lot of the guys in the league. But they still help their teams immensely, and defensemen can do that pretty much on one end of the ice. But I think the biggest issue with him has got to be the off-the-ice stuff. I mean, he's got a laundry list. Suspended for 8 games for throwing racial slurs at a teammate. I heard something like that.
Yep.
Yelling at refs, yelling at teammates when the going gets tough. I mean, he's still young, and it may be a little bit of the boys will be boys and they'll grow up, but it's a little alarming.
That's the alarming part. I'm with you on that. It's that's something you don't need. You don't need, because that can ruin team chemistry. Big time. Yeah. He's a guy, and this is what I hear. I mean, I don't know too much about him, just reading up on him. He's a guy that when the going everything's going well, you're winning games, you're scoring goals, you're playing great defense, you're getting great goaltending. He's a great teammate. He's a guy who'll go to bat for you. But when things get bad, you go on a losing streak for like 3 or 4 games. Refs are making calls that are very, suspect to you. He's a guy that will turn on you. It's kind of like a bipolar hockey player, in a sense.
And it comes across as childish. Now, maybe, I don't know the Arizona Coyotes backwards and forwards like the Rangers. Yeah. I would tend to think, I know they're a young team. I would tend to think there's not the greatest leadership in that room, maybe. And a kid like that can kind of run wild. Whereas over here, he starts pulling that shit, and McDonough gets in his face, or Rick Nash maybe says something in the corner. Lundqvist, the leadership in our room, I think, is much more established and better probably than the Arizona Coyotes, where a kid like that can start running his mouth and start to tear the locker room apart. I don't think they would let that happen here.
I don't think so either. And a coach like AV, man, I don't think he's going to let that happen. He's not going to let that happen, and it can't happen because it'll just ruin this team. And this team is primed for some great things, man. I mean, this is a big year for them. We got a lot of guys in their contract year, and some of them may want some big contracts, man. So we got to put a good product on the ice this year, and I think we will. I think the expectations are a playoff team again. Where do we go from there? We don't know, because hockey playoffs, they're so unpredictable. The 8 seed wins.
It's a lot of luck, a lot of the puck luck, as they say.
Yeah.
And, the way the team shakes out right now, I expect him to be in the playoffs
Mm-hmm.
because we still have a very good Henrik Lundqvist. Now the twilight of his career is starting. We all know that, but I've told you a million times. I'll take a 75% Henrik Lundqvist over 100% of most other guys.
Absolutely.
Let's switch over. I mentioned Stepan. Dan Girardi.
Mm-hmm.
The old reliable.
Thought he was a lifelong Ranger, to be honest with you.
And Dan Girardi was kind of a slow death with him. It was tough to watch towards the end. And and you felt bad for him because the decline in his game was a direct result of his giant testicles for near a decade, and he always left it all on the ice for, God, with the playoffs, close to 100 games a year, and he just couldn't move anymore.
No.
And I guess, we had to move on.
We had to move on. I mean, the guy, he did a lot for the team that was not noticed. You notice guys that score the goals. You know the guys that make the big saves. You don't know the guys that block 1,000 shots a freaking game, bloodied and bruised and broken things. It's amazing.
And they play and play and play and play, and they don't say a word. And then I love that. Then, 2 days after the season, you find out what all the injuries were. Yeah. Girardi was like, 16 broken bones, and 6 concussion. Yeah. Stepan, right? Stepan, a lot of money he was making.
Yeah.
And I always liked Derek Stepan, just like I love Stepan. I really did. Some huge goals, huge moments. Game 7 is Washington, the conference semis.
Awesome.
Ago.
That was fun.
Big stuff like that. But for 55 points a year, can you afford to pay that much money? It was like the Callahan thing. I loved Ryan Callahan, but he wanted so much money.
Too much.
For blocking shots. I'm sorry. I know it was all heart and soul stuff, but when you get to the point where that kind of money, it needs to produce a lot more. I need more points. I need more points in big spots. I need more face-off wins. Stepan, when you have 3 in his career, I just need more tangible stuff.
I agree with you 100%. I liked Stepan. I really did.
I sad to see him go, but I think it had to be done.
He did a lot. He did a lot for this team. He was a good assistant captain. He was a leader.
Right.
I would say he was a leader.
Experience.
But he's not a first line center. He's not a first line center, and he was making too much money.
He's making first line center money.
He was, and yes, he did have some bright spots in his career with the Rangers. And I loved him when he was there, but he just wasn't the guy for what we needed. We need that first line center. Now, do we have it now? We'll get to that, but listen, it had to come to this, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you. Thank you, Derek. I mean, you did a great job, and you were a fun Ranger to watch.
Right. And I hope maybe he can lead to some Arizona Coyote resurgence. Antti Ranta. Also in that trade?
Yes.
Right. So he goes to Arizona. What a backup he was. I mean,
and he'll start there.
He will. And
he's going to start with Mike
waiting
Smith.
for him to start for years.
He's going to start there, right? Mike Smith's not.
Well, I mean, Mike Smith's been a starter for a long time.
He's okay though. This guy is.
Put it this way: if they want to put it up, if they want to put the job up for bid, so to speak, in camp, I think Ranta will win it.
Correct.
He carried our team during Lundqvist's
He did.
I mean, and he backed up Crawford for years in Chicago, and everyone says this guy's really, really good, but he can't play. He comes to us, he's really, really good, but no, Henrik Lundqvist is here. So, and then you see what
a couple of tough spots, right?
So if he gets a job, interesting to see.
Well, actually, my buddy's a big Blackhawks fan, so he knew Ranta very well, and it was basically for that backup spot. It was him versus Darling. And Darling, great backup too, by the way.
Yeah, you can't really go
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was basically just, I guess, pick your guy, pick your poison, but in a good way. And they went Darling, and fortunately for the Rangers, we ended up getting Ranta. And fortunately for us, when Henrik went down, we had to start him. And listen, Dude, he did great.
Remember that game, that Rangers Chicago game, Ronta against Darling. Remember 1-0
overtime win. 1-0 Ranger overtime, and my
Nick Holden scored the overtime winner.
Was Nick Holden? We'd have to look at that, but yeah, you know what? That's funny. My buddy who lives about 2 hours away from me, he came up and watched that game. That was
fun game.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. But Ronta was excellent, and I hope he gets that start. He should get the start for Arizona because he's a better goalie than Mike Smith. But we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. And and all good luck to him too because he was great too. Right. He was excellent. He loved the Rangers. He loved the fans. He was actually a funny guy too.
Yeah.
So good for him.
And before we get to our last departure, we bring in our new backup. We got to replace Ronta, Andre Pavlich.
Pavlich. Let's call him Pavy.
Okay. Right, of the Jets, formerly of the Jets. I kind of like it. It seems like we strike gold with these backups.
We do.
Cam Talbot. It's interesting. We got the guys that weren't established players that went on to start. We'll see about Ronta, but Talbot backs up Lundqvist, has that run when Lundqvist was hurt. He gets a starting gig. Ronta, we'll see. I kind of think he will. Pavlich was an established starter with the Jets. They had a timeshare. They had that guy Hutchinson they really like. So we get Pav, and see if our luck continues with backups, and he just goes on a tear too when he gets between the pipes. Our last departure that I can think of, last important one,
big
is
one.
Lindbergh,
who
I think we both really liked. But we exposed him for the expansion draft, so he gets to go to Vegas with the hookers. Good for him.
Hookers and the gambling.
But we lose one sweep, but we re-signed Fost. Gun to my head, if you said you have to pick one, I would probably take Fost. So I'm not heartbroken over it. Lindbergh, I think, is still a little more raw. I think he has more offensive potential than Fost.
I think so too.
But Fost and
more gritty guy.
Yeah.
And you know what? Guys like Callahan, he was a very gritty guy, and Girardi, a gritty guy. Listen, Foss, a little Swede dude, but he can score some goals too. Yeah. Guy can score some goals.
Swedish. You know what? If I could have a team full of Swedes, I would sign up for it.
But he plays more non-Swedish. That gritty game that he plays. It's amazing.
Yeah, which a lot of the guys have kind of shown a little more. And I think the Swedish Elite League, which is the NHL A,
it really is.
It's that good of a league. Fuck the KHL. The Swedish Elite's so much better than
the Swedish Elite is way better.
I digress. Those Swedish guys, they come to the NHL and they know what the hell they're doing. Think of a Swedish player off the top of your head. And go study
Daniel Alfredsson,
Hall of Famer.
Exactly.
Zetterberg, and even these role players, they play a full ice, they play a full rink game, an honest game, and they give you a little bit of offense.
Victor Hedman, he's sweet, right?
Yeah, the defenseman, Hedman, awesome. Carlson. I mean,
defenseman, yes. Oh my God,
it goes on.
They breed some good hockey players, man. And then guess what? Our goalie,
pretty good goalie.
There's pretty good goalies too. A lot of additions, like I said, a lot of comings and goings this offseason, which is great. It's good to see as long as you're getting a lot of people back. And I think we did pretty good in that department. It's a big turnover though. We lost some important pieces of our team the last couple of years in Stepan and Girardi. But we gained some guys.
I think it's been a good offseason for Gordon.
I think so too.
I think he's done a pretty good job.
I think so too. Let's talk about the center situation, because this is something ever since we made that trade to Arizona that's been kind of on everybody's mind, I think.
I think even before that, in the last few years.
You're right.
But it got stickier with that trade.
So here we go. Stepan's out. He's in Arizona. Lindbergh's out. He's in Las Vegas now. That's two centers right there. So we're left with, I guess our top line is Mika Zibanejad.
Yeah.
I like him. I like him a lot.
Love him.
He signed a 5-year deal this summer. He's got very good skills, good puck skills. He's speedy. He's very good on faceoffs too. Remember,
big kid too.
He's a big kid, dude. Remember us talking the last couple of years and saying how the Rangers, we need Just give us one good, solid face-off guy to win some important face-offs.
I want to sign Steve Ott.
Steve Ott,
just for the big face-offs and then get off the ice.
Exactly, and we haven't had that. And then we get Zibanejad in that was it a 1-for-1 trade with Brassard? I mean, I think in both ways it went positively.
It was
for
one
both.
of those win-win trades.
It was a win-win trade.
Right.
But I think we were getting somebody better in the face-off circle.
And much younger.
So that was important. Obviously, Zibanejad's a righty, Brassard's a lefty. Not that makes too much of a difference, but the big thing for me was the face-offs. It was a big thing because we had been talking the past couple of years on how we can't win a big freaking face-off and how much that boils our blood because it's important in hockey. It's really important in hockey to win damn face-offs. You're not going to win a face-off in the offensive zone. I mean, what the hell?
And how many times on the power play?
Oh, my God.
Clear down the ice.
Oh, my God.
Here comes the rush with a minute 40, and you're behind the 8 ball already.
Behind the 8 ball already. So my only concern with him is, he was injured a lot last year. He had that big injury, and he was gone for a while. Yeah. Let's not let that scare us, I guess.
That was mostly a freak injury.
I guess, yeah.
It's not like he's got a stigma. I mean, he's still so young. He's 24 years old.
He's a young dude, which is awesome. Yeah. That's what was Brassard? He's late 20s, maybe 30.
He's not too much older.
No,
okay. Maybe 30 now.
But here's the thing: what I'm thinking of, since we're talking about the center position, can he be a true number one? What do you think about that? Can he be a true number one center?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of being a true number one center is who you're playing with. I mean, if you want to define a true number one center, it's your best playmaker. Mm-hmm. So in order to make plays, you have to have guys that put the puck in the net.
Yeah.
You can set up the prettiest plays you want, but if you have guys like Kreider just roofing the puck over the net, the points aren't going to come, the assists aren't going to come, and all of a sudden you're that 60-point guy and not 80, 85 because your line mates aren't helping you ascend. So. Mm-hmm. I think he can be a number one center. I think he is clear-cut our number one center. So put the 2 best wingers with him, Vigneault, and let them be the top one.
It's funny, and I asked if he could be a true number one center. I mean, think about the new age hockey, though. Is there really first line, second line anymore?
It's so fluid.
It really is fluid.
It really is. The days of NHL '94 where you set your lines,
exactly. You put your best 3 guys on that first line. Those are long.
The checking lines.
I love the check. It's not the fourth line; it's the checking line.
You have first lines now that check, and the fourth line.
Well, you got
speedy guys.
Right. You got some speedy guys. Yeah.
It's so fluid, and you have 6 different combinations during any one game, and Vigneault does it a lot. Tortorella did it a lot. So I think a lot of coaches do it a lot. So, right, it's a good point. What is a number one center?
What is a number one center?
But you know what? He's one of our best players.
Mm-hmm.
We're paying him now to be one of our best players. So go out and be one of our best players. No matter who you're playing with.
Exactly. Just go out and do it. Show us what you got. I mean, I like him a lot. Whew. Kevin Hayes. Kevin Hayes. He's still young.
Yeah.
He's been in his career with the Rangers so far, which has been pretty short. He's been, to me, very inconsistent.
I think he's been our most inconsistent player, which is kind of a compliment because to be inconsistent means half the time you're good.
You're really good. You go on streaks.
And he has shown flashes of that. And the other side of the coin is, a drug addict? I don't know what, right? How many times is Kevin Hayes on drugs?
Is he high?
It's like a PSA for, don't do drugs to show a clip of Kevin Hayes, some of his antics.
It really looks like he is on drugs sometimes.
Sometimes I don't know.
In the great words of one fellow hacker, Jason Crudy, he's a ghost. He can be a ghost.
He'll disappear. But I think with Hayes, the problem... Here's a big problem. I don't think he's a center. He can play it, but his numbers, I think, are better when he's off the puck, when he's on the wing. Mm-hmm. He's very good at creating chances for himself. So is that a center? Probably not.
But I think we have no choice.
Exactly. That's the exact problem. He can play center. He knows the assignments, so go do it. because we need you to do it. Does it help him? I'm not sure.
It's a big year for him too because it's a contract year for him.
Oh yeah,
it's a big year. He's got to show us something.
Right. He's a restricted free agent at the end of the year. Obviously, he'd want that long-term deal. Probably, I don't see the Rangers signing to a long-term deal now between now and the end of the season. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. At least we'll be able to match whatever any other team.
I mean, he played. I mean, we go back again with the lines, but he played a lot on the third line. Technically, he was on the third line. So I think his ice time wasn't as high as it could be for a top 6 line mate. And so maybe if he's up there, he's a second line center. Maybe there's a way he can showcase his skills because, dude, he can be very good.
Absolutely.
He's got some very good skills. He's a big man. He is. He's kind of like a power forward in a sense. He can be that type of player.
He should be.
He should be, but there's sometimes he's high. I know we keep saying it, but
sometimes he's high and he's a ghost and a big ghost because, like you said, he's a specimen. Not like the Kreider, but he's big. But sometimes he plays such a soft, passive game.
He does,
and it's hard for Vigneault because I think some guys like that more ice time would probably help. But if he's playing like shit, you can't give him more ice time. So it's like the chicken and the egg. What do you do?
It is. And we touched on him a little bit. So there's our first 2. I mean, let's lock in our third. We don't know if he's going to be a third line or a fourth line. Desharnais, the guy we got this year, who signed that 1-year deal. So we don't really know what's going to go on with him. We don't know where he stands right now, but we're so feeble in the center position that he might be that third line center right now.
You're kind of relying on him already. But the good news is, I think, Montreal used to. So why not us? I mean, he can be a very reliable player. And I think, looking at the list, I mean, he's I think the best pure center we have. Zibanejad, I really like him, but he's still so young. Desharnais has been playing good quality center in the league for a long time.
I don't know his face-off percentage. Is he a good face-off guy?
I don't know either.
That's something that could be very important because if he's very good, that's a really important part because then he can, late in games if we need a face-off win to tie a game up. I mean, put him out there.
But I think the important thing about this deal is it's very low risk.
Yes,
and it could yield a very high return. I mean. You went over his numbers. He's a mark of consistency. Last year was the injury, but after that trade to Edmonton, he finished, I wouldn't say on a tear, but he finished very strong. He fit in seamlessly, so hopefully the same thing happens here.
Yeah.
And for $1 million for the 1 year contract, if you get that, the back of his hockey card, so to speak, that 45 to 50 points. I think it's an absolute home run.
It's a home run. It's a win for the Rangers. So, I mean, that leaves that one spot. So it's kind of like a question mark now. JT Miller, he's played center before. I think his best position is the wing position, kind of like a Hayes. He has his best
Miller even more so.
But, you struggle to find another center. You can always spot him in there. But I rather see him as a wing. He had a really good season last year, by the way.
He did.
He had a really good season, by the way. Now, it's definitely not as much as Hayes, but I watched a lot of Ranger games last year, and there were flashes of him where you wouldn't see him like a ghost as well. Not as much as Hayes, but there were a lot of times where I said, where the heck is JT Miller? Like, where is he? I haven't even seen him on the ice. Is he here?
I think a problem with that is I think he really is out of position at center. And if you look at his numbers, I don't know exactly the breakdown, but most of the points came from the wing, I would have to imagine.
Has to.
He's so much more comfortable on the wing. But again, our common theme right now is we don't have much of a choice.
We don't. And you know what?
By the way, Desharnais, 51.2% last year. So, or Is this just last year? This is just last year.
I mean, he didn't play much last year, but still.
Hey, more wins than losses.
It's more wins than losses.
Even if it's just one.
Exactly. You know, and the thing about Miller, too, he had some great stretches of some dominant offensive hockey. He really did. He had some games where he kind of took over those games. Yep. He's got the talent. We know that. He's got the talent. And like I said, it wasn't as much as Hayes being ghost-like.
Yeah.
But there were some times where where the hell were you, dude?
Yeah. I think a couple of things. I think minutes were a problem because he ended up being a fourth-line center sometimes because we kind of had like I said, the center problem, the depth has been a problem for a while.
It's been a problem.
He wasn't getting a ton of minutes and maybe slightly out of position. And, just a young kid trying to find his way, especially at maybe a foreign position. So,
right. I mean, and you know what? I'd like to see him in the wing. I mean, if we have to, we have to. There's no two ways about it. We got to put him at center. But I mean, like we said, his best plays at the wing. Now let's talk about our first round pick, 7th overall pick last year. I know it may be a little silly. Elias Anderson, I think that's how you say it. Elias Anderson.
Yes.
Okay, Swedish guy.
Sign him up, bring him up.
We just talked about this.
I want him then.
You know, they say he has just raw talent and he's NHL ready. One of 3 guys in that draft this year that they said is mature enough to handle the NHL right now.
Well, I'll tell you what. He played in the Swedish Elite at 17, 18 years old.
And what do we say about the Swedish Elite?
So you can hang there. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
You can make it anywhere.
Born in 1998.
1998.
Yeah.
I'm feeling very old.
Unbelievable.
He just played at the World Juniors, and so he impressed like you wouldn't believe. I was watching some highlights of it. He looks good. Now, the thing is, Mike, he's not a pure scorer. He's not a pure scorer.
That's okay.
It's okay, but they say he's a very good two-way center.
Swede,
right?
Yeah.
Swede, good two-way center. There was a play I was watching where on the offensive side, his team lost the puck, and the other team had a 2-on-1 advantage. And dude, he raced back to get his stick out as the opponent was passing over to a wide open guy, and he just put his stick out there, broke it up. Just stuff like that, man. You like to see that hustle, that two-way play. There's not many guys out there that can that can be good at that craft, the two-way play. I mean, you have to have a lot of stamina too, first of all.
Right. Got to want to do it.
Got to want to do it.
And a lot of guys don't.
Yeah, I mean, my thing with Elias Anderson is for the Rangers. You know, he's super young. You got to be smart. You can't do. This is what gets me because this has happened in the past. You got to be smart with a guy like him. You can't bring him up but have him in and out of the lineup. Bring him in. A couple days later, he's sent back down to the Wolfpack. And then bring him back. You can't do that.
You mean Buchnevich, right?
Right. I mean, we haven't even gotten to that yet. But you can't do stuff like that. And also, if you bring him up, don't give him like 5 minutes a game. Let him play. Right. Let him showcase his skills. Right. Dude, that's the only way we're going to be able to see how good he can handle the NHL. So
that makes it tough to decide to bring him up. It really does.
It does. It's a big decision because we need a center.
But again, I hate the harp. Stop me if you've heard this one before. We're running out of options. So camp should be interesting because he's going to have an open door for a job right away. Absolutely,
man. And now that since we talked about him, let's talk about the other center they just drafted this year in the first round too. Schittel, a Czech,
right? I remember watching draft day. I remember them picking him and the little blurb they did on him. But other than that, I don't know too much about him.
Yeah, I watched a little bit on YouTube, just some highlights of him. He's a big dude. He's 6'2". He's got some good size. They say another guy Could be NHL ready, but he's a little behind Anderson in that department.
That put some muscle on it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah, he does.
Thin frame.
He's a thin frame. He's a taller guy, but he needs some muscle.
Teenagers, yeah.
Of course. These guys are young. Let him
mature.
down.
He's only 17.
He's only 17.
Well, yeah, okay, 6'2", 190. So, I was wrong about that.
I thought he was 6'2".
Wait, yeah, wow.
You said 6'2"?
6'2", 190.
6'2", 190.
Oh, man, he's young.
But he's young, right? He probably has that raw talent too.
He'll be 18 next month. So very, very young.
I mean, if you think about it, the Rangers did in the draft what they were supposed to do. What were we lacking?
Up the middle.
Center depth.
Yeah.
And right away, first round, 2 first-round picks, center. And I think they took like 4 other centers in that draft. I'm not sure. We'd have to look it up. But I think they took 4 more centers. They didn't have another pick until the 4th round, though, I believe. They picked a defenseman, actually an American defenseman. But after that, I think we went center. We went a lot of centers in that draft. Look that up, Walt.
Yeah. That was definitely the plan. I mean, with Stepan leaving or planning to leave, I'm not sure what happened first, the draft or that trade. Lindbergh, they knew they were going to expose in the expansion draft. So, obviously a game plan, they stuck to it. Exactly.
Well, I mean, let's just discuss our wings, okay? I mean, we have that center problem, but I think our wings, we're coming back strong with our wings. We got Zuccarello, Kreider, Vesey, Nash, Miller, Grabner, Fost, who's hurt.
Miller maybe.
Yeah, that's like that question mark, right. But we'll put him in the wings. Buchnevich, his second year, okay? Kind of like 1A because he was in and out of the lineup like we just discussed. And then maybe a guy like Pumple. I mean, we don't know. What do you see from our wings? I mean, I like them.
Me too. Obviously, I think Zuccarello is the top dog. That little hobbit. It's just been
I love that guy.
He's been our beating heart for years.
I friggin' love him.
He's had some fluky injuries. As long as Zuccarello's okay and healthy, I think our offense, not to put it all on Zuccarello, but that list of names with a healthy Zuccarello should help any goal-scoring concerns. Because I have some. I have concerns with this offense, but most of it stems from just not many good centers.
It does.
But Nash,
big year for Nash.
Right. I mean,
it's a big year.
Nash seems to alternate. Off year, good year. Off year, good year. I mean, let me real quick. Let's see. Last year, Nash always had 2 kind of bad ones in a row.
Okay.
38 points last year in 67 games.
Yeah, he was hurt last year.
Yeah. The year before, 36 points in 60 games. Year before that, 69 in 79.
Okay.
Okay, and then his first year with us, 42 points in 44 games. So, kind of takes a year off and play. He's 33 this year. It's a contract year for him.
Yeah, but you know what the problem that is always on my mind with the whole Nash situation. I think the expectations were way too high when we got him.
Yeah,
they were. I think they were just way too high.
You look. I still have his numbers up. Rick Nash's best year, he scored 40 goals 3 times.
One was with the Rangers. Yeah.
One was 3 years ago. Before that, twice.
Yeah.
He's eclipsed 70 points once. So I know he kind of he took the league by storm as an 18-year-old kid, then led the league in goals the next year at 19 years old. So maybe, 41 goals, 16 assists that year. He led the league in goals. So he's never really
16 assists. That's not
right.
Bad.
57 points.
He's just a goal scorer there.
To your point, I think unfair expectations because he's never 70 points once. So now listen, Nash is a great two-way player.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great penalty killer.
Yes,
he does a lot of really, really, really good things, and people go, "Oh, we're paying him to score goals." Are we? I mean, I guess I guess I have to stick to my point from before. If you're paying a guy that much, I think that's one of the problems with the expectations is the money.
Yep.
But I like what Nash brings all the time. He's always very consistent in the way he plays. He's not really consistent in the goals, but like I said, the penalty killing and in his own zone, in the defensive zone, neutral zone, he's smart in the offensive zone. I always like Nash.
And I'm with you there. I always like Nash too because I think I've gotten past the fact that he's not going to be the guy that's going to score 40 goals every year. He's not going to be a Kreider. He's not going to be he's not going to be that guy.
Well,
he is what he. I know.
Let's talk about Kreider real quick. Have we seen the best of Chris Kreider? I feel
I'm still waiting.
And how long do we wait?
How many times have I dubbed him one of the best in the league? I have.
You want to talk about flashes of brilliance and absolute dominance? You get it from Kreider, and then just back to nothing. And we've waited for years. I feel like, and is he what he is? Is this?
I feel like I'm giving him one more year, but I think I said that last year too.
Next year we'll probably say it again.
I like him because I like what he can bring, not what he brings, what he can bring, because we've seen it before. We've seen what he can do. The guy is a big, strong power forward. He's a power forward. He could stand right in front of a goalie without a blink, stand there, and defenseman's cross-checking him, trying to get him out, and he won't move.
Can't move him.
But then there's sometimes where another ghost, a fart in the wind. Like, where is he?
No, okay. Now we got to pull his stats up real quick.
Go ahead.
He's still only.
I know he's
26.
He's still young.
To be fair to him, he has, I guess, slowly improved. 14-15 season, he had 46 points in 80 games.
Okay.
The next year, down to 43 in 79 games. I think that's where a lot of the frustration built.
Yeah.
Last year, he had his best year. Okay, 28 goals, 25 assists, 53
Yeah, he was scoring goals last year.
75 games. So this is going to be, I guess, his fifth full season. Fifth full season.
Oh, wow.
So I guess we give him one more. I mean, obviously he's going to be out there, and I think his physicality is it's second to none. Big plus. Offensively, we'll see if he can continue to improve here, but I'm not sure. I just don't know.
Well, sometimes his physicality gets him in the penalty box too.
Right.
He took a lot of penalties last year.
Stupid penalties.
Stupid ones. That's what I meant. Like a lot of offensive dumb.
Most penalties are stupid.
No, they're all good.
Like, no, that was a good one.
Hey, great penalty guy.
If you tackle Malkin, who's on a breakaway, and take your chances later, that's probably a good penalty.
Right, and Mike, I'm with you, man, and I love this guy. I do. I like Kreider a lot, and I like what he can bring. Like I said, so we'll see what happens. I'm very excited for Ginny Vesey.
Yeah,
because another guy. I mean, his sophomore year, but he showed a lot of flashes of some really good hockey.
Yeah,
really special hockey.
And what I like about him, and one of my favorite things about Vigneault is with the young guys, he kind of plays favorites sometimes with the veterans, but these young guys, they have to earn their playing time. And Vesey started at the bottom of the totem pole, and he slowly earning more trust and earning more time. And he played big minutes down the stretch.
I think he was on every line too, 4, 3, 2. I think he just jumped around.
Right, as he played, as his play improved. And I expect a big year out of him. I really do.
Another big leap I feel is Pavel Buchnevich, a guy that we talked about before, saying he wasn't dealt with the right way in and out of the lineup. I mean, that's got to screw you up a little bit. I mean, your confidence goes up. It kind of diminishes when you get caught. I mean, it's got
the injury hurt him.
The injury did.
Right away. Remember at the back.
Yes, right away.
He came up and played, 2 games? And I'm like, oh, this kid's pretty good. And he hurts his back. He's out for a while. And I think getting back into that and trying to figure out where he fit in the fold, and Vigneault trying to figure out where he fit was a struggle for everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got the talent, man. He's got some good speed, some great puck handling skills, man. Holy cow!
That Russian skill.
That Russian skill, yeah, exactly.
Really does.
I mean, I hate how we're kind of doing that, but I mean, but it's true. He does. He's got those Russian skills, man. He's good with the stick. He's got a killer snapshot, man.
Quick.
Really quick snapshot, and he's got to grow now. I mean, he's, like we said, he's young too. I like a lot of these guys. They're young.
You just want to see improvement,
We just want to see improvement. All right. Listen, defense. What has been the problem the last few years is our defensemen.
Defense.
Holy cow. And we touched on it earlier, but we made the biggest splash. Okay, getting Kevin Shattenkirk. Now, does he play with McDonough? Is that
I think he has to.
I think he has to, right?
I think this is weird talking about the defense being the strong point of the team.
Yeah.
So for the first time
in a while.
Brian Leach left.
Hey, you know what? Stahl and Girardi's first couple of years, we had a strong defense.
Yeah. No, you're right.
McDonough really young.
Right. But I think Vigneault can't overthink this. You can't get cute with this. You play Shattenkirk with McDonough. You keep Brendan Smith, who was awesome.
I love that pickup, man.
And that re-signing we didn't even talk about. They had the re-signing.
It's true. We didn't really talk about that.
But he wasn't really an addition. But he was last year, and he was a great one.
He was.
Smith, and you play him with Brady Shea, who just looks like the real deal.
He does. Dude, he was great last year.
I don't remember him having like a bad game.
I talk about when we talk about the Mets pod, and I talk about Reyes and Rosario and the spark they bring. He brings some sort of spark, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
He's got that youthful look to him. He's really young, but he's got that youthful freaking energy.
Yeah, doesn't know any better.
He doesn't.
Just goes out and plays.
He plays his balls off, man. Yeah. He does. He plays his sack and potatoes off. Ryan Stanley.
I love that one.
Yeah, he will.
And he was with Smith really down the stretch, and they were really, really good.
So that's what you do. You keep them together.
I think you have to. And then that leaves you with Stahl and Holden, who...
We thought Stahl was going to get bought out like Girardi, but it just never happened.
No. So I guess they picked one.
And then when does D'Angelo come up? We don't know.
That depends. That depends on Nick Holden.
Depends on Nick Holden, definitely, and it depends on, obviously, injuries. I mean, there's going to be some injuries. He'll be up at some point.
The first injury, he's probably like Kevin Klein, retired, didn't he?
Retired,
so that's another
Coach Klein. Coach Klein said it
good. It's okay to fight back.
It's okay. Coach Klein said it good.
Love Coach Klein. And another sad story with him, with his injuries down the stretch. He couldn't really he couldn't stay on the ice, and I guess he retired. He just couldn't lace him up anymore. But I think the kid D'Angelo, Nick Holden I like for the most part. Another one of those primarily offensive guys.
Yes.
Gets a little lost in the defensive zone. But you have Stahl there, who Stahl, amongst his lapses, is always pretty steady.
Because he's got those long arms. He's good with his stick.
Slow as shit.
Slow as shit. So he has to make up for it somehow.
Right.
So he uses his stick.
And he's usually pretty smart about it. He's a pretty good positional hockey player. So, I mean, D'Angelo, that'd probably be a pretty good guy for him to play with, is Stahl.
Probably.
Probably. And that's the thing with D'Angelo. Say we do bring him up, and we're talking about how kind of bad he is as a defensive defenseman.
Yeah.
With this group, I don't think it matters.
It won't matter.
I don't think it matters.
It won't matter. He should listen, dude. He's got to just. I don't know what he's got to do. He's got to just fit in with this crew and not be a douche.
Right. Yeah. Which like I said before, I'm confident that this group could screw his head on.
I hope so, man.
But man, it's a long list of shit with this kid.
I was just reading about it today, man. It's a lot of stuff.
But we'll see. I mean, we'll see. Game's around the corner, and all this shit's around the corner. I'm getting pumped up.
It is.
But D'Angelo, he's going to be right in the mix for a spot.
Hey, we have a pretty good goalie. He's pretty solid.
Let me see. Henrik
Lunk.
How do you say it? Lundqvist?
Lundqvist. Guys, let's just call him the king.
Lundqvist.
Okay. He's 36, and he's done everything for this team. You know how people, I hear it all the time, and whatever. It doesn't bother me that people say, dude, the Rangers need to win one for Lundqvist. Yeah. That's fine. That's great that they say that. I'm not going to get mad at that. He deserves it. Does he not deserve a championship, a goalie like that?
We deserve a championship.
We do.
Yeah, let's real quick.
Go.
What, 54 years, right? Was the laughing stock in the league. What are we at now? What is it?
94 was the last year.
So do the math, 23 years?
23 years. That's a long time.
Almost halfway there.
And I remember that 90. I was sitting with my dad in the living room, going nuts.
Yeah.
The waiting is over. The Rangers are Stanley Cup champions.
And what does he say? And this one will last a lifetime.
A lifetime.
No.
No, Sam.
Still the same lifetime.
Good God, Sam.
And I'm been itching, man.
Yeah.
I was 9 freaking years old. I mean, come on.
You know what? I mean, and if somebody's gonna get us there, it's gonna be this guy. He's gonna.
Yeah, I think it always starts and ends with Hank. I think I'm excited because a problem has been the defensive lapses in front of him, right? The last 2 years, it's been the team, right? Oh man, how did Lundqvist give up that one? And then, oh man, that one wasn't his fault. and then you can see the confidence going. And then, oh man, he fought that one off. Probably because he doesn't think the guys in front of him can help him. But I think it's going to get. I think the defense is really going to improve, and that's only going to help Lundqvist with those little fights with his confidence.
I just love. He just cracks me up sometimes, man. He's making like 30 saves in a row. The team, they can't get it out of the zone. We can't clear it out. And finally, the puck goes out of the stadium, or he saves it and he covers it, and the whistle blows. I just love that head shake. It's vintage Hank. It really it's great though.
Exasperation.
Exasperation.
I guess some of the boys can't really love it too much. It's not like I don't think he's trying to hang anyone out to dry, but he as he's gotten older, he wears his emotions on his sleeve, and he wants to win so badly, and he knows it's a team effort, and he's obviously a huge part of it, but he's going to be just fine. Like I said, he's it is the twilight of his career. I don't think we're going to see Vezina candidate Lundqvist from now on. We don't need it. Yeah. We don't need that because, like I said, even a 75% Lundqvist is good enough to win a Stanley Cup.
Yes, it is. Somehow it's got to be up to the players in front of him now. I mean, he's saved this team so many friggin' times. I mean,
it's true. No, it's true.
It brings me to my next point. Okay. I'm going to go to something that is very important, and I've been bitching. I've seriously been bitching to my friends for very long now. And I think my point is clear. Okay? I'm going to go over the Rangers' records. Not their records, just the points, because you don't really need to know the record. Their points in this last decade. So last year, 102 points. Playoffs. 2015, 101 points. Playoffs. 2014, 113, which got them the President's Trophy. Playoffs. Obviously. 2013, 96 points. Playoffs. 2012, in a lockout season, it was 56 points, which also earned them a playoff. 2011, 109, playoffs. 2010, 93 playoffs. There's the theme right there. Guys, I can keep going back because they've made the playoffs longer than that. They've been a playoff team for a while now, probably since, 98, 99, 97 that year we made it, and then a couple of years we didn't make it maybe. But what I'm trying to get at is we've been this good for so long. We've had arguably the best goalie in the world, okay? And we still have not won a Stanley Cup. Here's my reasoning. We don't and haven't had a superstar. It may sound silly to some of you guys. We need a superstar to get us over that hump. That's basically what I'm saying, okay? Who won the last 2 years? The Pittsburgh Penguins. Do they have a superstar?
Yes, puke.
They do. They have more than one superstar. Crosby, Malkin, okay? I mean, I can just keep going on and on the teams. The Blackhawks. Yeah. Jonathan Toews, Patrick Kane.
Mm-hmm. Who else you got? Who else is one?
I mean,
once the Rangers get knocked out, I never watch. I don't care.
No, that's right. But like, no, there's a laundry list of teams that have won the cup. They usually have a superstar. When the Kings beat us, did they have a superstar? I don't know. Maybe not. But Jonathan Quick was unbelievable that year.
Superstars, but their 3 or 4 stars played like superstars.
So then some people tell me, well, you do have a superstar. He's in net, but he's not scoring the goals. We need a goal scorer. Yeah. As I put it in a weird tone like that. But we need a goal scorer, man. Zuccarello has led us in points the last 2 years, right? 2-3 years maybe? I don't even know. With what? How many points?
Someone in the 60s.
Right. When do we get a guy that has an 80-point year? We don't.
No.
We need a friggin' superstar. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but that's all I'm saying. I could just keep saying we need a superstar, but we do.
Now, to play devil's advocate.
I want you to play devil's advocate right now because I'm very passionate about this freaking thing.
Pretty good at being devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
They don't grow on trees. The Penguins had to suck to get Sidney Crosby. That was the first overall pick. They were the worst team in the league the year before that. We don't have the number 1 overall pick. Now, do you trade for one? Do you trade for a Stamkos? What do you got to pay? You got to see them Stamkos.
A lot.
They don't grow on trees, and the ones that fall out of the trees are pretty expensive. So it's tough. It's hard to get one. Of course, I want one too. You hope one of these kids becomes one, God forbid. Because that's the way to go with us. Because we're not drafting at the top, although we draft number 7. Hey, maybe Leah Sanderson is.
Maybe Leah Sanderson.
Your next, who's the Swede from the Avalanche? Your brother would know.
Oh, Peter Forsberg.
No, I was thinking of Marcus Naslund from Vancouver. Yeah, Forsberg, Naslund. Swedish name. Maybe he turns into one of those guys.
Yeah.
But, they're hard to find.
I can get on board.
I want one too.
I want one so friggin' bad, man. I want a guy that scores 46, 50 goals a year. It's just, for me, I feel like that would get us over the damn hump.
Well, hey, kind of related. You know who's out there floating around free agency?
Right now?
Right now. Who I believe had our last 100-point season. I'll have to look it up. Do you know who that was? Remember who that was?
Yager.
Jaromir
Yager.
Who's probably about 71 years old right now.
78, I think.
But from what I've seen, still a pretty productive player.
And, dude, he had one of the best mullets you'll ever see in a human being.
Now, if he brought the mullet back and they brought him back, I may wet my pants. But, I thought about that the other day. I heard that.
Yeah.
And I said.
He's like pissed, too.
Why the hell not? Why wouldn't he?
He's blaming his agent right now, I hear.
Always blaming the agent.
He's getting pissed. But why
not? That's my question.
Why not? Because he's not a center. We need centers, Mike.
45 years old. I know we
need centers, Mike.
He could probably play center if he wanted to. What else we got with the Rangers here? Went through the team. How about Lindy Ruff?
Dude.
Coming into the coaching staff. You're talking about maybe a Hall of Fame head coach as an assistant coach. I don't know what department he's going to be taking, the power play, or do we still have, what's his name, Scotty Arneal do the power play? I don't know what his job's going to be, but you know what? Whatever it is, it's going to be better than it has been. And just because it's Lindy Ruff.
And you know what? And when they made that move, you texted and you were excited, and I was with you. I didn't know that happened until you texted us that, and
I couldn't believe it.
It's like, wow, Lindy Ruff on the coaching staff.
That tells you something. I mean, Lindy Ruff could probably still get a head coaching job.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he takes an assistant job. It tells you two things. He respects Vigneault, which I think a lot of guys do. I do.
I do too.
I don't always agree with him, but that's fine. And he's got to be excited about this roster. And so that gets me even more excited. I mean, like I said, you got a big-time head coach as an assistant.
Yeah, it's a big it's bigger than you would think because it's not a player move, so it goes unnoticed,
Right.
really.
A lot of people are going to turn their TVs the first game of the season and go, "Oh, that guy used to coach." Right?
Oh, I know this guy,
Yeah.
because he's got a pretty familiar face. You can't really.
Lindy Ruff, what's his name?
Yeah, and that's nice. Good job, Rangers, man. I like that. That was a great move, man.
Absolutely.
Great move. I mean, this team this year, I'm telling you, and we talked a lot about them, but I'm getting excited, man. I'm getting excited. I get excited every year because every year, as I've shown you through the records, we make the playoffs. We're a playoff team. So, and like we've said earlier, you make the playoffs in hockey, let's go. You can be a 1 seed, a 2, 3, don't matter.
Just get in the tournament.
Just get there, get hot, and go. That's all you need. You need to get there. Maybe you make some right deals at the deadline to bolster your roster, and then who knows? Just get there.
Real quick, Jaromir Jagr. He had 46 points last year, and he didn't miss a game. He played 82 games.
For a 45-year-old or 44 last year, whatever the hell he was.
Why wouldn't you bring him in?
And he's familiar with the team. He's played here.
Sure.
He's not gonna have that angst.
Maybe
so
a little resurgence. Who knows?
I agree. We want to leave off with one more thing that I know Mike wants to kind of touch on because he brought it to our attention. So go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, sad news. Eddie Olczyk, who is an analyst with NBC, he's colon cancer. Found out a few days ago. So it's sad news. You hope he's going to get all the right treatments and stuff. I haven't heard too many details about it, but you never like to hear shit like that.
Never.
I honestly could not. He's in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
That I couldn't believe. I could not believe.
I was honestly shocked.
Have you looked at his stats?
I did, and he had a couple really nice years.
I knew he was pretty solid, but I wasn't thinking.
To be honest, I don't know if he belongs in the Hall of Fame. But you know what? That's for another day.
That is for another day.
That's not the important thing. So, we hope Eddie Olczyk.
He was pretty instrumental in their cup winning season in going heave-ho 2 in a row. We didn't get the 2 in a row, but ever since he said that,
well, maybe it's the curse of Enzo.
Come on, Eddie. But yeah, we wish him well and hope he gets better. I love Eddie.
Too much of this news all across.
It's terrible. I mean, I love Eddie. I love listening to Doc and Eddie on NBC. It's my favorite. I mean, other than Sam and Joe, I love Sam and Joe. We have some great announcers. But sad news. But hopefully everything gets better. But I think we touched on a lot of subjects, Mike, on this New York Rangers team. I'm pretty excited. I know you're excited. I think the season, we previewed it, and it's looking good, man. I mean, just even talking about it, this roster's it's pretty sharp. We have holes, but every team has holes. We got to fill them, right. And sometimes you fill them throughout the year.
Oh yeah, it's always a fluid process. Nothing's ever set in stone, and But I mean, you know what? It's a pretty for August, whatever today is. It's a pretty good start.
It's a really good start, and
it's a good off season.
Yeah, and I can't wait. The season starts in less than 2 months, and we'll get it going. And hopefully, I don't think that we have a problem. We're gonna get to the playoffs again. It's just I hope they handle things well. The injuries are non-existent this year, and Hank's back to Hank. Let's get Hank. Let's get Hank a cup, man. Let's get us a cup, right?
We can share it with.
We can share it.
We can all drink from the cup.
We can all drink from the cup. And again, ESPN, if you were listening, which you're probably not, I mean, I don't know if you have the rights to that NHL song, man. We'd love it. I would take that in a heartbeat and just use it for our
name your price.
Intro.
Name your price. I'll buy it.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, New York Rangers podcast on YouTube Live tonight. Just remember to go to our YouTube channel, Angry Hacks, and give it a view, man. Give it a view, and also go on SoundCloud. Check us out on SoundCloud, and also definitely, most importantly, iTunes. Give us subscribe to our Angry Hacks page, and also just download our episodes, man. We're having a lot of fun doing it. Listen to us.
We're really nice guys.
We're nice guys. We have a good time, but thanks for joining in to the Angry Hacks podcast. We'll see you soon, guys.
Peace.